Hi, this is Charlie at My Messy Fingers. I have created an album for Scrap and Create featuring the Ciao Bella Winter Journey collection. It's a beautiful collection. It's got lots of wonderful colors in it. When I got the papers, I instantly fell in love with this piece. Now, the center of this is open. There's nothing in there. But I just could not see cutting into this clock. So it became my feature. So because of the size of the clock, and these are 12 by 12 papers, I ended up making an album that measures 10 by 10. And I made it with a 3 1/8 inch spine. Now, this element here was a cutout, and I popped it up a little bit using some pop-ups. Some of them I used chipboard. This little bird came off the cutout page. These elements here all came out of the cut-aparts page. The deer, I mounted him on some chipboard so that he was a bit stiff, and then carefully cut out the antlers. And then when I pushed him down against this element, it would push his antlers forward so that there was a depth here. So you've got a kind of a 3D thing going on here. And Scrap and Create provided the silver accents. She included those with the collection. From my understanding, if you're ordering the paper from her, she will include these at no additional charge while supplies last. I did use some lace. It is totally optional to you whether you want to use lace or not. And if you do, just cut it to the 10 inches so that it covers top to bottom. The other thing that I did is that there are some beautiful brown tones in this paper. So I didn't want this pattern piece blending into the white. So I came in behind it with some brown cardstock and then cut this a little bit shorter and placed it on the brown cardstock so it would pop a little bit, allowing the paper to speak for itself. And like I said, not whitewashing out into the white cardstock. On the spine, we have this little cutout, and you can see where I wrapped the ribbon to the back. That's the back of the album. And then I have this, my big lacy bow. So let's get inside and take a look at this. Now, there are 4 of these in your collection. When you buy the paper, you're going to end up with 2 of these. So I used the same 2, this on the front, this on the back. So you have journaling opportunities here, or place a standalone photo. The album measures 10 by 10, but a lot of the elements that I wanted to play with don't measure 10 by 10, but I couldn't see cutting into them. So I used them in making some flaps. So we've got the owl with the little cottage in the background, and then this piece here with the fox looking back. And then this opens up so that you've got a tuck here. You have a pocket right here. This opens up so you can put a photo or some statement journaling here. And then you've got another pocket over here on this side. So then it folds all in on itself. And then we have this was one 12 by 12 sheet. I divided it down the center, and I cut this so that these would be centered in here so that I didn't lose any of this saying. So then when you open this up, you have 2 panels over here that again open up. So you end up with some very large panels. There's a pocket here. You have a big pocket here, and then you've got your additional pocket and panels over on this side. I used one of the little silver elements that Scrap and Create sent to add a little bit of an accent here. And then this page, again, another one of those, I think they're 6 by 6. Use the back side of it for a standalone photo or some journaling. And then we had this element. I took and fussy cut out one of the pine cones from the cut apart page and popped it up a little bit so there was some texture. And then we open this up. And we've got a little pocket here for a tuck away. We've got a big pocket here and another tuck away. But there is a lot of room in here for journaling, for photos, trying to lend to those big 5x7s that people often have. This closes up. These are your 4x6 cards that were in there. I simply made 2 pockets. Big opportunity for 5x7 coming in here. And then here's a pocket here. And here's where I fussy cut out some of the roses. And again, popped them on here so a little bit of a depth to the paper. Here we have a waterfall. It's just a simple waterfall. Nothing fancy. Using a lot of the silver elements. You've got a big pocket down here. I cut these out, popped them up a little bit. And then we have this 6x6 panel. It opens up. Great opportunity here for journaling. This owl, flush on the page to me just wasn't doing justice. I wanted him to look like he was really flying over. So I took my craft knife and I came in here and I cut him out. And then I popped him up using some spare pieces of chipboard, made sure his edges were inked real well. And then I put him back in place. So now to me, it does look like he's flying over the cottage. Okay, we're going to open this up, and then in here we've got a big pocket, we have a tuck, and we have another big pocket. And again, lots of room for those bigger, oversized photos. And then this is, I do believe, the last of the 6x6 panels. Did a cutout, mounted it, placed it there. I did the same thing here with this element. I was very careful with my craft knife. I cut it out, inked the edges, backed it with some leftover chipboard pieces, and then I glued it back in place. So once again, it looks like it's kind of coming up off that page. And then you open this up, and you have a big panel here with a pocket, a tuck on this panel, a tuck on this panel, and another pocket over here. And then this is going to open up. And in here you've got another big pocket, big panels, large panel for that large photo, or just tell your story, start journaling a story. And then we're going to close this up. And this is one sheet of 12 by 12. I cut it down the center. I wanted these 2 accents. He's okay standing off in the background. Don't mind him at all. Magnet closure. You open this up this way, and you've got a big pocket here. You can do a dedication. You've got a couple of pockets here where you can put additional elements if you want, and do a dedication. But then these open this way as well. So you've got double pockets, big panels. And this one, you've got big panels and a couple of pockets on this side. And then here, I wanted this saying. I didn't want that to get cut in half and get lost. And you'll see that there's a lot of the same creatures that are being used throughout. Looking back, winter adventure. Open this up. And you've got big, big panels here. Open this up. Put a standalone card or a note or some journaling. You've got a big pocket here. This opens up. Photo journaling. Snap closure. And then the last one, I have to admit, when you go through the video and you look at this last build, I've never made an envelope page. And it was one of my 2 a.m. in the morning, gosh, can I pull this off? So I had some structural issues here with this piece. but it works. I'm not too worried about it. But I made a pocket here for the front. And now this piece, flipping it this way, is the top of the 12 by 12 page that has this deer on it. And I didn't want to just trash that, so I used that as the piece down here. This then opens up so that you have a large top piece for putting in photos or some kind of a dedication. When I put this together, I put this on the bottom of the envelope down here, but there was leftover. I didn't want it to go to my scrap pile because there was a lot of it, but not enough to go all the way down to the end. So I went to my scraps, found a piece that I thought would blend with this real well, complementing it. And then from the cut aparts, I cut out this, inked it, put it on white cardstock, and put it in here to kind of take up some of the blandness of this, even though it's a beautiful piece of paper. Now, when you do this, please note where your magnet is. You don't want this extra thickness over the top of your magnet. So then down here, like I said, we've got a big accordion envelope. Now, this is the first time I've done this. I am absolutely not professing any perfection on this. So in the comments, if you've got a link to how to do one, please share. I'd love to know what it is. In finishing the album, we had some 5/8 gussets, and I don't like seeing big white marks in between the pages. So I take some of my scrap paper, I find a piece that will allow you to make 1/2-inch paper trims, and I came in and I glued it down into the center of this. So there you have it. Now, this album was cut 10 by 10. It's a big album. I get that. But you can make this as an 8 by 8 album. Just make sure that when you're cutting your cardstock that you're following the score line instructions for making your gussets. That'll make the difference between you having not enough room to having room, because I do a lot of buildup on my pages. So just follow the lines, follow the videos, cut it accordingly, but you can also do an 8 by 8 album out of this. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the album.